Good morning and welcome to City of Light Atlanta Sunday morning meditation. I'm Reverend John and I'll be taking you on this journey. And first, let us sit back into our chairs or wherever you are. Let's just relax and take this time for yourself. It's very important. Let's close our eyes and pay attention to our breath. And as you do so, you're noticing your breath. That is how you shut down your mind to all the monkey chatter that's going on. All the news stories right now, we really need this time for ourselves. And as you're noticing your breath, notice your jaw. Is it clenched? Are your teeth touching? Put your tongue in your mouth back behind your upper teeth towards the front. And breathe. And let's be sure your shoulders have dropped down. This is how we know we're paying attention. And we also send an intention to the universe by our posture. As we remember, 70% of communication is body language. It's the same with the universe. Let us relax and ask, what is it I'm supposed to know today? What comes to me is an affirmation that I am as the Creator made me. My uniqueness is necessary for my life's purpose. All the bad experiences we've had related to our uniqueness were just part of the journey. They happened for us rather than to us. They brought us to this point where we are right now. I have a spiritual gift. Repeat that in your mind. I have a spiritual gift. My intention is to be a blessing to someone this day. Could be a phone call to reach out. Could be a random act of kindness. I intend to be a blessing this day. And I am proud to be myself, to be me. Let's repeat that affirmation in our mind or say it softly. I am proud to be me. And we ask God, the Creator, our intuition, our angels and guides, whoever you might think, we ask quietly in our minds, what else do I need to know today? This morning, what do I need to know? And we set the intention every day to sit in the silence and ask, what is it I need to know this day? Show it to me. What do I need to know? And we listen or we watch. And we make sure we have 10 to 15 minutes of silence. And so now we come back to the room. We notice our bodies and how they feel. We can wiggle around in it some. That helps us come back to the physical reality that our spiritual beings are experiencing at this time. And as we continue to notice our breath, we're here in these bodies. We give thanks for this time together. We ask you to hang out with us. 5 more minutes, our service starts with Reverend Dr. Paul, and we wouldn't want you to miss that. Namaste.
morning and welcome to City of Light. I'm Reverend Dr. Paul Gratz, and it's a delight to come into your home wherever you may be, coming to you live from our campus at 3125 Presidential Parkway here in Atlanta, Georgia. Today is a great day. It is a day to celebrate the divine presence of God in a fresh new way. We've come together as a community of God, coming together in this wonderful sense of awareness of one another and all the joys and blessings that we've each received. And collectively, we want to share them with a heart of great celebration for God's goodness. Now, today's theme of our service is to engage in a full throttle trust, a trust that is full and ongoing, a trust that is dynamic and rich, a trust that's taking us to a higher level as we're trusting in God in the midst of all of our challenges. I'm so glad you joined us for this opportunity to express this and to learn together how we might be greater people of God in the spirit of trusting the divine presence at work in our lives. Now, as we begin, let's welcome one another. Let's welcome each other who are gathered here in our auditorium, as well as those of you who are joining us all across the world. Let's share these words that welcome each other, that express our mission, our message, and what we hope to accomplish and how we're going to do it. Let's share it together. You'll find these words on our screen. Welcome to City of Light. This is a place where people of like mind come together to recognize in Christ consciousness that there truly is only one power, ever present and all-knowing. We offer a positive and practical approach to a lifetime of spiritual growth. We know we are all spiritual beings having a physical experience in this world. Now we celebrate our diversity, welcoming everyone in unity. We know that how we act is the greatest expression of what we believe. So we live out our calling to be a light for the world, a light of love, truth, and understanding that is making a difference. And so it is. Just open your hearts up now as we prepare for this great service, this opportunity for the divine presence of God to speak to our hearts in a fresh new way, as our musician Scott Dunn shares this musical selection, Above My Head. Thank you so much, Scott. We appreciate your talents. I'd like to share with you the opportunity we have to do unto others today. It's our tradition here at City of Light that as we begin our gathering together, that we think of others and the needs of others through our generous giving, how we can be a blessing in a very tangible way. Now, we certainly are holding all kinds of needs in prayer and holding them in thought and consciousness, but we want to act out in a tangible way of being a blessing. So today, we encourage you to give generously to our Do Unto Others Fund, which today is going for the benevolent needs of our community and our world. From time to time, there are people who need a little assistance, a little help along the journey. And we want to be there the best way we can to be of some blessing to help along the way. So your generous giving today goes to this benevolent fund that enables us to meet some of the challenges that people have from time to time, where they face some obstacles that are holding them back from their success and moving forward. Well, we want to be there to offer some financial assistance. So thank you so much for your generous giving. For those of you who are gathered here in our auditorium, you can place your gift in the basket right over here. We are not passing the basket anymore due to COVID-19, but we appreciate your generous giving in this opportunity of doing it to others. And for those of you who are joining us through our live streaming or our YouTube channel, well, you can go to our website following our service today at www.cityoflightatlanta.com. And you can go there and you can offer your gifts. There's a donate button, very simple, easy to do. you can make your contributions. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Let me share with you some announcements of things that are happening here in the life and ministry of City of Light. Well, this week we're continuing our class, and our class will be Thursday at 10 a.m. We're going to join together a great study in our Emerson Institute. I hope you'll join us for these educational opportunities that we're offering. Right now, our Tuesday night class at 7 p.m. is on hiatus, but we encourage you to join us for an educational opportunity Thursdays at 10 a.m. And we want to say a special thank you to each and every one who gave so generously during the month of December for our staff Christmas bonuses. The entire staff wants to express their gratitude and thanks for the generosity of each and every one of you. You were able to bless our staff here at City of Light with such a tremendous gift, and we appreciate so much your thoughtfulness and kindness. You know, each one of the staff members works so hard, and I am so appreciative of every one of them, and grateful for their gifts, their talents, and their desire to share so willingly in service. Thank you so much for your support of them and the kindness that you shared in a Christmas bonus. Appreciate that. We also want to let you know that Crossroads Community Center is in need of backpacks. That's right. We have an incredible ministry that's reaching out to the hungry and the homeless. We provide food in a food bank program on Fridays. There's all these wonderful opportunities that we are sharing in compassion. And one thing that stands out time after time in ministering to our homeless community is the great need for a backpack, something that will enable them to carry some of their limited possessions with them as they travel from one place to the next. These backpacks are essential and so appreciated. Quite often, you know, something happens to them as they're living outdoors. Something happens, police may come by and kind of raid their little communities and take all their things away from them, unfortunately hoping to kind of push them out. They just return, but they seem to need these things over and over again. So I know we've had special drives for backpacks in the past, but we would encourage you, if you feel so inclined, to generously donate either a gently used backpack or a brand new one, or the funds for us to purchase additional backpacks for our homeless community. Thank you so much for your generous giving in that context as well. We appreciate it. And we appreciate each and every one of you tuning in each and every week on our Facebook page at City of Light. Now, we have a City of Light group page and a City of Light marketing page. So tune in on the group page and you'll find all kinds of announcements and activities, photographs of the life and ministry of this church, and enable you to be more connected with us. We look forward to you checking in there. And thank you so much for your faithful giving each and every week. You made an incredible difference in the year of 2020. And we're so appreciative of so many people supporting this ministry with a continued faithfulness and a great spirit of generosity. I want to say thank you. You're making a difference. We appreciate it so much. Let's just take a moment now to quiet our hearts, just to rest in this wonderful, sweet Spirit of God that is right there with you in your room, where you are right now. That sweet presence that is with us here in this auditorium, to open our lives up to it as Scott Dunn shares this musical selection, Be Still and Know.
know this to be my truth. There is one consciousness, one mind, one heart, and one God. Today I accept God's gift of abundance. Everything that I am and have that is good is increased. Everything that I do and identify with is done with success. I express the limitless goodness in all ways. There is nothing within the universe that could separate the goodness of this perfect presence. This perfect presence is within me, around me, through me, and always forever for me, and as me. This perfect presence is filled with much love, peace, and abundance. This divine presence directs our path that guides us into complete joy, happiness, and prosperity. The divine presence is full of love, and I am the manifestation of this love and everything that it creates. This love in me is me now. Everything that the presence is me now. We are spiritual beings, and this is who we are. I fully and deeply realize the goodness that is given is mine now and forevermore. I accept this realization as truth and allow it to shine through me. I express my thankfulness for the good that is taking place in my being and affairs. With a humble heart, I share my thankfulness out into the world with my gifts and talents that the divine has given and entrusted me with. I release and let go of this treatment into law. I know that it is done, and I know and accept the abundance of possibilities of this day with love, joy, and fulfillment. And together we say, and so it is. Now let's listen as Brother Scott Dunn plays the Lord's Prayer.
Thank you so much, Scott. We appreciate your talents. And thank you, Dr. Alan Williams, for that beautiful affirming prayer. It just nurtured my soul, just fed me. I thought it was just gorgeous to listen to those words. How about you? What's feeding your soul? What's nurturing you? You know, we find within the ancient scripture, and of course the Lord's Prayer, which we just heard so beautifully played, that phrase, "Give us this day our daily bread." It simply means and references to us, give us today what will nurture us for today. And of course, it's not just talking about our physical life, but our spiritual life. What nurtures you today in this moment? What's feeding you? What's feeding the soul? Because just as the body hungers for nutrition and it hungers for that which will sustain it, so too the soul is hungering for that which will sustain it. That truth that it wants to feed on, that nurtures it and encourages it and enables the soul to expand and to grow in spiritual understanding. That phrase, give us this day our daily bread, then really offers us this understanding that we need to seek a daily nutrition for the soul, a daily nurturing, a daily feeding. So we're looking for that bread of new understanding, we might say, a bread that takes us to a new level of comprehension, a new level of truth, something that really feeds that inner being within us, that soul. Well, today's scripture text offers us a true, delicious bite of nutrition, shall we say. Something that really will feed us in the power of truth and understanding. And it's found in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 7, which says, "Blessed be the one who trusts in the Lord, and the Lord shall be his or her source." Blessed be the one who trusts in the Lord, and the Lord shall be the source. How beautiful that is. For we find this context of this nurturing truth for us is that if you're looking for this spirit of joy and happiness in the midst of a world of chaos and challenge, well, it's found when we simply begin to trust in God. That's the source of all the joy and perfect peace that we so desire in this world of chaos and all of its challenges. But we find as we are trusting, there is a spirit of joy, of happiness and contentment that can come to our life. So if you're looking for that source of happiness for you, it begins in a true foundation of trusting in the Lord with all your heart in all ways. You see, for the soul really wants to trust. That's right. That inner being that you are, that soul that you are, really wants to engage in a day-to-day experience of trusting. We want to have that full confidence in the world that all things are going to work for our good. We want to live from that perspective. The soul desires it. No one really wants to live in anxiety and worry and stress. But what happens is that this truth has slipped away from us, this truth that when we're trusting in God, it brings about the happiness that we seek, the joy that we're seeking, and we find ourselves in very difficult situations. We find ourselves in the midst of stress and worry and fear and all these things that are truly needless. For that which nurtures the soul today, that delicious bread for this moment, for right here and now, and for every moment of our life, is to learn to trust fully, to really trust with such energy and such complete confidence that God is at work in the midst of everything. Our strongest level of trust is not found in this world around us and the limitations that it offers, for we know that all these things that we may trust in can break down, fade, rust. They may not always be with us. But trusting in the spiritual realm of the divine, the truth of God, trusting in that, well, that's eternal. It always has been, it always will be, and it is right now. So the trust is meant to be a trust in God, trusting in this wonderful awareness of a divine source that's ever with us. As quoted in the beautiful prayer that Dr. Williams shared, God is with us, in us, around us, through us, and ever for us. How beautiful that is. So it's not just trust, it's trust in the Lord. Trust in God with all of our heart. Now, we are created in the image and likeness of God. Don't forget that. We constantly let that slip away because that's who you truly are. You are the image and the likeness of God. That nurturing character within you, that is the likeness of God. That wonderful nature of patience and kindness, that love that you share, that's the very nature of God. It's that nature in which you've been created, and that's the likeness of the divine that's shining through you at all times. Yet we allow sometimes the things of this world to disrupt our perfect peace. That's right. Your true nature, your true essence is that of perfect peace, of a sense of calm, That's the essence of which you were created in and the likeness that you were created in. You're not created in the likeness of stress and worry and fear and drama and all these kind of things. No, the real essence that you are, that God created you in, is an essence of perfect peace in the midst of all things. And our trust is often weak or shattered by the focus that we have on the events of the world. And we've taken our thoughts away from this divine power and presence. Instead, we're looking at, oh, wow, look what's happening in our world today. Look at the chaos around us. I don't know if I can really trust that today is going to be a great day or that tomorrow will unfold equal blessings. I don't know if I can trust in the circumstances of the world around us. Oh, but you can in this divine source called God. So we're learning that this perfect peace is the essence that we're called to live in. Perfect peace. And as we're learning, what we're actually doing is remembering. We're remembering where we came from. We are a divine creation and we came from the divine. We're remembering and recalling. Oh, we think we're learning something new. Actually, we're just rediscovering that which has always been. That you are meant to live every day in perfect peace. And that you can simply trust in that perfect peace unfolding in your life as you rest in God. Happy, blessed will you be. This is the scripture that says that we can feed on that and let that nurture us. Wow, I know that I'm going to have the happiness, the joy that I so seek in my life every single day, not just 1 or 2 days, every day, as I allow this to just sort of nurture my thoughts and feed my soul, that as I dwell in trusting in God for all things, it's going to happen for our lives. So what we're coming to is a place and a time right now in our lives when we need to embrace in a full throttle trust. Full throttle. That's, how it is. On the engine, there's a little throttle, and sometimes you pull it a little bit. The engine begins to speed up and move a little quicker, and then you pull it all the way open, and whoa, the engine is roaring away. Well, that's what we're called to do in today's world. Live that full throttle trust life. Trusting completely, wide open in trust, and saying it's to the fullest level, to the highest extent, I believe that God is in control of all things within my life. Now, how do we get to that place? How do we come to a place of really experiencing that full throttle trust in our lives? It begins by us recognizing, first and foremost, we're a servant of God. We're a servant of God. And that servant's purpose is to reveal the divine, to show God, to reflect, to be the light of the world, to be a light that is a reflection of the divine presence. That's what we're called to do. And that work that we need to do each and every day in this world that expands us and evolves our soul is one of living out this divine purpose. Be the servant, the worker, the one who reveals all the goodness of God for this world around us. Now, living your life as a servant of God means that you're serving out this divine source within you. And to do so may require some challenges or tests that enable us to strengthen our life, to strengthen and to build and establish a strong spiritual essence within this world, spiritual presence. As a servant, meaning one who is fulfilling the divine desire. As a servant, the day-to-day challenges then are just the stuff of the day's labor. Now think of that. Think of somebody working in the fields. They face some challenges. They face some weeds. They face some animals. They face some challenges of the weather or the dryness in the soil. They face all kinds of things that are challenges for a field worker, correct? Well, we're working in the field of life. And there are challenges. There's some obstacles. They're there for a specific reason. They're to help us really to go through these challenges in life and bring about a harvest. Just as you're going through a field worker, going through the fields, facing some of the challenges there, the end goal is to bring about a great harvest. So it is in our own individual life. The challenge you're going through, the obstacles you may be facing in your life, are there to help us understand that we are going to reap great rewards as we work through this. because these are challenges for us to learn to be overcomers in. We realize then that these challenges are not something to fear, but they're opportunities. That's right. There's nothing for us to fear. Wow. Yet we find in our world today, fear is gripping so many. I have so many people who are in conversations and saying, I don't know how to face all that's going on in our world, in our society today. I don't know how to live in strength, and I just really, this fear is just consuming me. Oh, but when we understand that we can trust in the Lord, what happens then is that this fear offers us trust offers us a new way to look at fear, that simply these things that are coming to us are just opportunities for us to trust more. Because let me tell you this, nothing happens in our world, nothing happens in our life without a reason. There's a reason. Now, we may not always see the reason at the time that we're going through something. And that's one of the big challenges, because we can't really value the experience while we're going through it. So we're saying, I don't know why I'm going through this, or why this is happening in my life, or why I have to go through this, face this obstacle in my life. And we don't always see the outcome until something is completed. But what we are learning then is to trust day by day as we face these obstacles, but know that the obstacles are opportunities for us to then exercise, to go to full throttle trust, to go to that level of saying, I am complete resting in God, and there I find that perfect peace. In the Old Testament, there's the story of the children of Israel out in the wilderness, seeking food in a desert land. And there they learned the power of trusting day by day in a fresh new way. That's right. The trust you had invested yesterday now needs to be refreshed and made new for this moment right here and now. For you see, as the children of Israel would wake up in the morning, there was manna from heaven that was brought from the sky. There was this wonderful, beautiful, delicious, sweet treat of bread that was there, manna for each one to go out and harvest. The catch was, it was only good for one day. Then there are those who think, well, I can stockpile it. I can collect it all up. I'll take my little Tupperware containers out, and I'll take freezer bags, and I'll do everything I can, and I'll store it up for the whole week, and I won't have to worry about it for tomorrow or the days ahead. But that manna spoiled. So what we learn from this is a beautiful spiritual lesson, that there is no security about what will come tomorrow. We know that. There's no real security about what will come in tomorrow. We don't know what all we're going to face. But we do know this, that we can trust that there will be blessings coming tomorrow, just as there are blessings in this moment. We may not know exactly what they are, but that trust says, if God has provided for today, God will provide for tomorrow. So people then go about their lives with this clear awareness that they had no control over their substance. They only could trust that they were going to be provided for. And how important it is in our journey of our life. We don't know what tomorrow holds. We're only here for today, in this moment, right here and now. And we're trying to figure out, wait, what do I do with today? Well, we trust. And tomorrow we trust again. And the next day we trust again. And each and every day we go out in this sense of renewed, refreshed, daily bread of full throttle trust. Daily bread that nurtures the soul. Daily essence, daily truth of understanding. I know that when I go forward every morning, I go out in trust. And the children of Israel in that wilderness would wake up in the morning with this sense of complete trust that there was going to be manna that day. And at the end of the day, when the manna spoiled, they woke up the next day going, I trust there's going to be manna for that day. And there was. And that's the beauty of the spiritual lesson for our lives. That when we simply trust in God in fresh new ways each and every day, something amazing happens. Because what we've learned is that in each day, we know that we have what we need for this moment. Too often, we're thinking, well, I have just for today, but what about tomorrow? What about the next day? What about further down the road? What about 10 years down the road? I don't know how it's all going to provide for. Oh, wait. Just know that God has provided for you just what you need for right now, for this moment. And the manna is fresh right now, in this moment. But know that for tomorrow, there'll be a call for you to trust again. And know that in that moment, you'll have all that you need for that moment as well. This calls us to live moment by moment, living in the now versus the tomorrows. I can't emphasize enough that sometimes we can't see the full picture of what we're going through or why we're going through it. It's easy to get the wrong impression about what's going on in our lives, and that causes us to be fearful and doubt, instead of realizing that everything is happening for our highest and best, and everything is happening for our good. But we may not always see the reason why as we go through it. Personally, for my own life, my life partner of 20 years is dying of stage 4 cancer. I don't know why. Why at 67 years is his life coming to a close, with the doctor saying that you only have a few months to live? Why? It seems so strange. He should live a full life. There's something more that should be out there. I can't see clearly in this moment the reason why this is happening. When I pray and I believe and I trust, well, that's all I can do, because I don't know all that's going on, but I know that what is going on is for my good and for his good. Now, that may seem strange for people to say, but how can you say that his sickness and his illness is for his good and for your good and for anyone else's good? You see, that's where trust comes into play. I trust in God, and this universe knows the highest and best for my life and for his life. So I may not in the midst of this understand why. Further down the road, I may. Maybe in eternity, I will understand and see it clearly. But for right now, the journey is for me not to be caught up in the why, and the wondering, but to simply trust. God is at work in the highest and best for my Robert. God is at work in the highest and best for me. And that's trust. Trust is saying that no matter what mess mankind has made, no matter what the devastation, God can bring something good from it. No matter what we're going through, and no matter how messy and how crazy it may seem, God can bring something good and intends to bring something good from it. For every obstacle, every challenge, everything is this opportunity for God to say, let me shine, let me radiate, let me reveal, let me show you the good. Trust me, I'm looking for the good in this situation, and I know it's there. But sometimes our free will to ignore God at any moment will make this world seem so difficult, because we've ignored this wonderful power, this source of divine strength, this source of infinite possibilities that's working right now, and we've ignored it. We haven't paid attention. We haven't trusted in it. And then we wonder why we're not experiencing happiness. But blessed is the one who does trust. Blessed is the one. For as we trust in this higher power, we know that something good can manifest out of every mess. Something good can manifest out of every situation. Something good and powerful will be unfolding for Robert as he steps into a transition to eternity. As he moves into that, the joy of being liberated from a body that's racked with pain, as cancer is eaten away within him, I celebrate the good of that joyous moment for him as he steps into the eternal and as he transitions from this physical world. I just am thrilled for him, and that joy fills my life of some good. I know the same will happen for my life too, as I trust that there's something more that God has for me as well that may take me in new directions. I don't know the fullness of it all as to the why, but I simply do trust that something good is happening. For what happens in our life is that there's a stretching and a pulling by love and by challenge. That's kind of love pulls us, stretches us. The challenges pulls us and stretches us. Things in life pull and stretches us as God is working in our life. It's kind of like eating bread. Any of you ever make bread from scratch? Or maybe you saw your mother or grandmother kneading that dough, pressing on it, working it, pounding it, moving it, just working through and through and through. And as you do, what it does is it creates structure and strength in the dough. That's right. The pulling and the stretching, the kneading creates structure and strength. It breaks down the gluten and it builds that resistancy within the dough to be able to rise to the occasion. So it is in our own life. Sometimes we're experiencing some stretching, some pulling, the Spirit of God kneading, working in our life. We think they are obstacles and challenges. Oh, they're opportunities where the highest and best is about ready to unfold, and we're building now within ourselves a resilience. We're building within now as things are breaking down within us to strengthen us, to make us rise to every occasion. You see, what happens then is we are trusting. Trust loosens the grip that fear has. It loosens the grip on fear in our life. When we turn our soul over to the divine, we are calling on our highest natures, and it elevates ourselves away from these animal instincts of fear within our lives. Our animal survival instinct would have us clinging in fearful moments, but the heart that's filled with trust offers no place for those feelings. Isn't that beautiful? We're so filled with trust, full of trust. Our cup is so full of trust that there's no room for anything else. Our problem is we haven't filled the cup up because we've left a little bit of room for fear to come in, and we're stressed and worried in that process. But when we go to full throttle trust, it's like we have pulled it out the throttle to the fullest level. We're moving at the highest level. There's no room for anything else because every aspect, every breath we take is, I trust, I trust. I live in this confidence. I live in this assurance. Something good is happening right now in this moment in my life in the midst of the obstacles that I'm enduring. What happens is then that kind of full throttle trust transforms our lives from fearless beings to loving beings. Big difference. Where we respond then to every situation when we are trusting with great love. Knowing that love is there for us individually, and love is there for us to give others, because we simply trust in everything. You see, this is our bread for today. This is what nurtures us. Listen to this passage from Jeremiah 17 as we expand on the verses around this theme. Beginning in verse 6. The writer of this text is offering to us a word picture of what it's like to go through the day-to-day journey as a servant of God. Facing obstacles, facing challenges, but they're called to deliver and to reveal the divine purpose of God in all ways. Verse 6 says, you will be like a shrub in the desert. A shrub in the desert, a bush that's growing in the desert, in the dry lands, in the dry places. You're going to be, as you trust, like a shrub that's blooming, maybe an azalea bush in springtime with gorgeous colors. Maybe you'll be one that brings forth fruit, but you're going to be this shrub in the midst of what seems like the driest places of your life with obstacles and challenges. You will be like that. And you may not see, it says, he will not see when prosperity comes, because we can't often see the end result. We can't often see the blessing. We can't always see when the fruits are going to manifest. We can't always see these things, but we will. It comes in due season. It says he will dwell in parched places of the desert and a salt land where no one lives. Even where it seems impossible, when you are trusting, when you put your trust, even when it seems so difficult, like a salt land where nothing would grow, or a desert that's so parched, even when you're in those places, there is an opportunity for you to bloom, grow. But happy is the man or woman who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in God. I am trusting in this divine universe that knows my highest and best. I release all reservations and anything that's holding me back. I let go of fear and doubt and worry and stress because I am confident in God leading my pathway, and confident that God is showing me step by step every way how to move, every way, every movement. And then verse 8, here's the beauty. This is what happens when you trust. You're going to be like a tree planted by the waters. You'll be like that even though you're in the desert. You're going to be just like a tree that's planted by the waters, that sends out its roots into the stream, where the very foundation of your life is being nurtured by these wonderful streams of thought that are going, of goodness of God. It says, and does not fear when heat comes. That's right. Doesn't fear when heat comes. The tree is just being nurtured. And when the sun is beaten down so hard on you and beaten down and saying that you feel like you could be burned to a crisp or dry you up, you don't fear it. It says for this that the leaves are always green, in the midst of no matter what challenge you're going through. And it does not worry in a year of drought, nor does it cease to produce fruit. When we trust, you're ever producing fruit. That's the beauty. Wow, that's the truth that nurtures our soul today. When you're facing these fears and worries and stress in your world, this full throttle trust then takes you to this place where you are now the bush, the shrub that's in the desert that is blooming and leaves are green and nurtured by a stream of water that's sustaining you to the place where you are constantly producing great fruit and blessing. It never ceases. So today, our call is to trust in the Lord with all your heart on a day-to-day basis, no matter what you're going through. And to pull the throttle wide open, full throttle trust, where you're just saying, I am completely given over to trusting in God's guidance within my life. This is the bread that nurtures our soul. As we pray, give us this day our daily bread. Feed my soul, nurture my soul right now. It's nurtured in this truth. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. Amen. I hope that you are encouraged by this word, that it just nurtures your soul today, and you feel the strength of God lifting you as you continue to trust in God for all things. Let us open up our hearts now to the opportunity to share in great gratitude for all that God has blessed us with. An opportunity to give. Many people say, oh, well, wait a minute, I feel bad about this. You call for giving, and I don't know if I'm able. Oh, but find some way to give. For the spirit of generosity, as you open your life to it, will only lead you to more and more abundance. As you are able, we invite you to share your offerings, your tithes, your donations through our website at www.cityoflightatlanta.com. And for those of you gathered in our auditorium today, we invite you to place your gift in the offering basket up front here. We appreciate so much your generosity. And as we do, let's offer this affirmation of celebration. Let's share these words together you'll find on the screen. City of Light is a thriving community that is experiencing the abundance of God. We are growing and flourishing because we believe and practice the teaching of spiritual truth. As we give and receive, we join now in the divine flow. We know that all we share with life returns to us multiplied abundantly, and so it is. Open your hearts to the spirit of generosity and share that which is on your heart. Share from the very essence of your life to say, I am in great appreciation for this ministry, its church, this church and its fellowship. I'm in appreciation for the truth that's shared. I'm appreciating all that has been nurturing my soul today. As Scott Dunge offers this offertory. Again, you can go to our website following our service today at www.cityoflightatlanta.com. I love that chorus. I shall not be moved like a tree planted by the waters. I shall not be moved. That's that beautiful passage coming to life that we've seen in Jeremiah chapter 17, speaking about the joy of that we will be experiencing and what our life will be like as we completely trust in the Lord. As we do, we know that perfect peace comes to our life. As we're trusting, we return to that true nature that is a perfect peace within, perfect peace radiating from our lives. Join us in this closing chorus as we sing this together. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. Let's sing along together. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as my center, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my solemn vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. Would you pray with me? Center your heart right now. Rest in this words that I share as I speak this truth. This I know to be true for my life and for yours as well, that the divine power and presence rests within you and wants to spring forth the great joy of complete trust, the joy of that divine source leading and guiding your life each and every day, that joy of resting in, knowing that all things are working together for our good, that joy that simply trusts in a full throttle way. We center ourselves in this then with complete understanding that that is who we are, people of joy, people of trust, people of great confidence in God. And as we do, we claim together for this week the wonderful blessings of healing for each and every one, the blessings of health and strength, wholeness, prosperity and success, loving relationships in abundance. We claim all of this for each and every one, for we trust that in the midst of whatever obstacle we may be going through, the divine is unfolding something good. Even though we may not see it right now, we trust that in the midst of any mess, there is beauty unfolding and a harvest of goodness is ours to claim. So with great gratitude, we release this now, knowing that God is at work in this moment, right now. And we're living from moment to moment in the divine knowledge that we have all that we need for this now. We release this now as our truth, as together we say, and so it is. So take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. Thank you so much for being with us today here at City of Light. It's been a delight to share this time with you and to celebrate God's goodness. I know that as you move out through this week ahead and you are trusting full throttle, you're trusting in all ways, there's no room for anything in your life other than that confidence. Fear will dissipate. Worry, stress is going to fall away because you're trusting all things working together for good, and it's going to happen just for you. I look forward to hearing more from you. You can reach out to me at my email address at revtpaul@aol.com. Share any comments, thoughts, questions you may have, because I'm here to help you on that spiritual journey. I'm here for you as you're going through your day-to-day experiences. And I'm here to be your coach, saying, you can do this. We can do it together. We're going to reach for our highest and best as we do this together as a community. God bless you, and I'll look forward to seeing you in one of our classes, or I'll look forward to seeing you next Sunday here at City of Light at 11 a.m. God bless you. Have a great week.